Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your girl Ronnie. I'm back again with another video. And this video is going to be my finally long-awaited video that y'all been wanting me to do. My Wrestlemania Day 2 Part 2 review. And I just want to say that Wrestlemania Part 2 was way better than Wrestlemania Part 1. Not taking anything away from Wrestlemania Part 1. So Wrestlemania Part 1 was still good. It's just some of the durations of the matches and some of the endings were garbage. But altogether, looking back at it, WrestleMania was a really good show this year. WrestleMania 36 was amazing, to be honest. Despite all of the different circumstances with like Corona and everything, it was weird not having a crowd though, but it seemed more realistic to me in a way. Because with the crowd not there, you're able to hear the wrestlers like talk shit while they're basically beating each other's ass. But I was thoroughly impressed with WrestleMania Part 2. I was so blown away, honestly. But let me just get to talking about it. The first match we saw was Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. And that match was a good 20 minutes, I believe. Let me look at the time. Hold on. Don't quote me on that, because I'll see the actual time. And I'm not going to talk about Liv Morgan versus Natalya, because waste of time, pointless to even talk about. Pointless. This is one of those pointless ass matches that was in the kickoff. I'm not trying to be funny, but pointless. But yeah, okay, the Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair versus whichever way you want to call it. It was an amazing match. Definitely was way better than Raw's Women's Championship match. Definitely. Like, it was way better in every aspect. You had old school type wrestling in this match. And I knew that they were going to tear the house down, but wow, it was amazing. I was blown away. My only issue is that Charlotte won the championship. But I understand now why she won, because of Rhea Ripley's whole, like, visa situation. She's gonna have to get that situated or whatever. But I still think that she was an amazing NXT Women's Champion, and I was so happy for her. And for her to have had such an awesome match with Charlotte, no doubt one of the greatest women to ever lace a pair of boots. And I don't care what y'all say, you know, Charlotte has grown on me. If you guys remember, I made a video saying that she was trash, because back then I felt like she was trash and I felt like she was overrated. Now it's a completely different new decade, and Charlotte honestly has grown on me a lot. I cannot ever deny her wrestling ability ever again, because before, to me, she was trash and I felt like she was overrated. But you know how that saying that is when somebody grows on you, and when you get older, your feeling on certain things starts to change, and that's what it is. Like, she's a phenomenal wrestler, a phenomenal athlete, no doubt one of the best, one of the greatest of all time. Even putting her up there with people like Lita, Trish Stratus, Jazz, you know, Victoria, you know, people like that can actually wrestle. Gail Kim, you know, etc. People that can actually wrestle, people that actually put their everything into their art, which is the wrestling. I just want to say that that match was amazing. Again, I'm gonna just put it out there, way better than the Women's Championship, the Raw Women's Championship match, because the Raw Women's Championship match was garbage, and I know it could have been better than how it was, and it was too short, and Becky Lynch, in my opinion, didn't deserve to win the championship, because she had already been champion for nearly a year around this point, and now she has hit her 1 year mark. And as much as I love Becky Lynch, and don't get me wrong, I love Becky Lynch, and I will never bash her no matter what. I just feel like she should have dropped the title to Shayna. But what I'm loving is I'm noticing that after watching Raw, I'm realizing something. Their feud isn't over. Becky thinks because she got a cheesy ass win over Shayna that their beef was over, but it's not over by any means necessary. And I'm glad. I want to see in the end result of their feud with Shayna having the title. Because she busts her ass. And she's literally one of my favorite women that ever graced NXT. I like a lot of the women, but I feel like wrestling wise, she's got it. She's got that factor. Xia Lin, Nia Yim, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair when she was on NXT, but as you know, they've called her up to Raw, and I hope they do some big things for her because she's phenomenal. I love her so much. I can't remember a few of the other ones, but the talent, in my opinion, is it bad that the talent in NXT, the women's talent in NXT, are more gifted than the women in actual WWE? Like, I can't. Besides a few, because it's only a few, in my opinion, that can actually go down there with the men. Rhea and Charlotte could wrestle with the men. That's how great they are. But yeah, that match was amazing from start to finish. I was so on the edge of my toes, on the edge of my seat, and I was just really happy for Rhea in that moment. Even though that was her first WrestleMania and she lost, she put up an amazing fight against Charlotte. She was wrestling with an injured knee, basically. And can't nobody tell me nothing about that. Like, we have not seen a good back and forth wrestling match between two women like that in a long time, as far as I can remember. The Becky match was way too short, and it had a bullshit finish, and that's why I had a problem with it on WrestleMania Part 1. Part 2 was amazing from beginning to end, literally. Like, this part of WrestleMania was way better, in my opinion. Altogether, WrestleMania was a good show, but it just had stupid-ass finishes for, like, some of the matches. But yeah, I love that match. Definitely top 4 matches that happened for Part 2. I love them as wrestlers, as women. Like, they did an amazing job. And even though I'm low-key kind of salty that Charlotte... I'm not even low-key salty. I'm very salty that Charlotte won. I know that she's gonna bring more talent and give more people chances or whatever. And there's gonna be, like, different matches. And at least it's not her against Bayley or against Becky, because I was over them. I was over those matches. It's been done way too many times at this point. Low-key. But yeah, I love the match, and shout out to them. And then the match that came on after that was Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley with Lana. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think this match was gonna be, like, as good as it was, low-key. Because, don't get me wrong, Bobby Lashley is phenomenal, and I love how he uses, like, power moves, and he's very capable in his ability, because he's a heavyweight, you know, and heavyweights do, like, power moves, and, you know, stuff like that. But Aleister Black, low-key, has it all. Like, he's a striker, he's a submission specialist. Like, this man can really wrestle with the best of him, literally. Even on his worst day, you will never be able to determine if it's his worst day. That's how great of a wrestler he is. But I wasn't sure if their chemistry was going to be right, but it was. Like, it was awesome from beginning to end. and I love how they were balancing out the correct way. Like, I really, really enjoyed this match. It was really, really great, honestly. Whether Aleister Black won or Bobby Lashley won, it wasn't gonna matter to me. But I knew Aleister Black was gonna win because they're like giving him a push right now. So I'm just excited for him in that moment. I know that was a big deal to him to be able to win that on the grandest stage of them all. That's a huge deal. And then the match that happened after that was the Otis versus Dolph Ziggler match. And then, shockingly enough, I'm not even gonna say shockingly enough, because I was thinking this before they even came out. I was like, watch, Sonya gonna come out with Dolph Ziggler, they're gonna be all buddy, and you know, or some shit like that. Or I was thinking that Mandy was probably gonna be stupid and give him another chance and come out to him. But no, that's not what happened at all. I was completely right when I thought that Sonya was going to come out with Dolph Ziggler. Yes, but I wasn't right about the other stuff that I thought. So Sonya and Dolph come out together and they're celebrating or whatever, and they're all booed up or whatever. And I'm just thinking to myself, girl, Sonya, you know you want the girl. Stop playing. Why are you sitting around here playing around with Dolph Ziggler? Like, low-key, that's what I was thinking in my head. I'm just like, stop playing these games. Like, what's the point of you doing all this, like, playing all these games and stuff like that? Like, I was just like, whatever. And so, the match begins. Otis versus Ziggler. And I'm going to be honest, once again, I honestly did not think this match was going to be good at all because of Otis. I mean, not saying it like that, because, like I said, sometimes you have two completely different fighting styles, it doesn't mesh right and the chemistry isn't there. But their chemistry was actually pretty good. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. It won't be it won't be top 4 match of the night though for me, but it was a really good match and I enjoyed it. And I love how Sonya called herself trying to distract the ref, and then Dolph Ziggler tried to get an easy win over Otis, and then Mandy came out and she slapped the hell out of Sonya like she stole money from her or something. And then she beat the fuck out of her. I mean, she beat her ass like she owed her money, low key. Not even trying to be shady. She fucked her up. She made her bitch, low key. But low key, I think Sonya liked that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Sonya want all the smoke. But yeah, so she came out and then she made sure that nobody was getting involved in, you know, Otis's business with Dolph, and Otis beat Dolph. And I thought that's great storytelling, because we were all rooting for it at the end of the situation between Otis and Mandy, that Otis was gonna actually end up being with Mandy, and he puts her in his arms, lifts her in his arms, and they share a kiss. And it's just awesome because at the end of the day, he got the girl that he never thought he was good enough to be with. And that because of Sonya and Dolph being underhanded, being shady, being shisty, that it actually pushed them closer together. And whoever the mystery man is that exposed them, I want to know who he is, and I want to know how he's gonna play a part in other like situations where people getting exposed. And also, I forgot to mention something. Another thing that I noticed when Bobby Lashley lost, he was in the interview with Charlotte or whatever. Ain't this her name? Yeah, Charlotte. And he said he needs new management or a new wife. And then after that, Lana walked up or whatever and was looking lost or whatever, and she was like, you know, and he left like right after she walked up and looked at her crazy. And then Lana walks up to Charlotte. She's like, what did you say to my husband? Like, girl, first of all, how you gonna assume that she said something to him? But she didn't even say nothing to him about you. She asked him about the loss and how he felt about it, whatever. And he expressed how he felt about it. You can't just go around assuming and accusing people and stuff if you don't know that's what's actually happened. Maybe you should think, Maybe my Bobby, as you like to say, is upset because he keeps losing, and he's tired of losing, so he's looking for something to take it out on. I mean, I know if it was me, I wouldn't want to keep losing over and over again. I'd be feeling some type of way too. But you can't just go around accusing other people. And again, before people come through after, yes, I know it's scripted. But again, like as I've said before, like I've said thousands of times, I'm a realist. I believe in realism. I believe in, you know, putting myself in their situation and describing what I would do in the situation. If it was me, I'd walk up, I'd be like, do you know why he's upset? I wouldn't automatically assume that Charlie said something or did something that made him upset. Because that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to go around accusing people, assuming things, when I don't know, like, the full story of things. That's why you should never, ever assume. You get all the information first, and then you do whatever, or you say whatever, or whatever the case may be. Like, I think that's ridiculous to, you know, accuse somebody. But I'm interested to see where their storyline is going to go. Something tells me Bobby going to end up getting divorced from her and running off into the sunset with a new bitch, and then that new bitch and her gonna be beefing and stuff like that, and they're gonna be trying to fight over him or something. They should do something like that. I think that would be cool. Yeah, you ask my honest opinion, I think that would be cool. And then here is literally match of the night. So before I even talk about the next match, I'm gonna just say rank my favorite matches. Edge versus Randy Orton, number 1. Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, number 2. The Street Profits versus Angel Garza, Austin Theory, number 3. And Bayley versus Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina, top 4. Most definitely. Later on, I will explain why those are my top 4. Alright, but anyway, we're going to talk about this match that was literally about 40 minutes long. The last minute match between Edge and Randy Orton. I just want to say this was amazing, brilliant storytelling, and you know, it was just amazing how it was done. I love how they didn't go too far, but then they beat the hell out of each other. Let's not forget that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even finna sit up here and act like they didn't, but I love how they were like very, very safe and very, very careful how they did everything, because they know at the end of the day, you know, Edge doesn't need to get injured permanently, so to the fact that he can't wrestle ever again. He was gifted a miracle by God, I feel like, in my opinion, you know, and he took another chance, and it's a blessing he could wrestle again. But he doesn't need to put himself in a situation where he could possibly get, you know, injured permanently to the point where he can never wrestle again. Like I would hate for him to have came back, and then, you know, would hate for him to have come back and, you know, push himself, come back, you know, rehabilitate himself, just for him to have to retire again, but this time permanently. Like, that would be shitty. But I loved everything about the match. The match was amazing, literally, from start to finish. Randy Orton really thought he had Edge. Am I the only one that died when that when they knocked the cameraman out? I laughed so hard because I was in a party chat with one of my best friends, Robbie. Shout out to you. I was in a party chat with him, and we were watching it together, and I was just dying so hard. I was laughing so hard, literally. So I'm just like, what the hell? All the cameraman was trying to do was record the action. Y'all didn't have to knock that poor man out like that. Like, I died. I was laughing so hard. Oh my god, it was so hilarious. Like, he just was like a fish out of water. That nigga was just like done. Like, that nigga got knocked out so bad. I'm sorry. Now, the part low key though, like the part where Randy Orton was like choking Edge, with those weight things, I kind of felt like, I knew that they were going to have some type of backlash with that, because everybody knows that Chris Benoit, hung himself with those weight things, and he had them around his neck and stuff, and I knew that somebody was going to bring that up or something, and I knew it, because nobody has forgotten about Chris Benoit, let's be honest here. I know they can't talk about him and stuff like that, but let's be honest here, let's be real. Nobody's forgotten about him. Nobody has, forgot what he did and what he did to himself. Nobody has forgotten that, even though nobody wants to talk about it. But let's be honest here, and like I said, let's be real. Nobody's forgotten about it, and never will, to be honest. And I just, I probably will rewatch Chris Benoit, Dark Side of the Ring. Probably will, and give my review and give my opinion about it. I'll watch parts 1 and 2, and I'll probably give a review for the whole thing, but I'm gonna probably watch parts 1 and 2 so I can remember like what to talk about, because I may do a review about it actually, because it's great. It's a great documentary, the best Chris Benoit documentary ever. Like literally nothing, no other documentary that's ever been done on him is this great. And you really get to see into his head and understand more about the situation. Because I know there's a lot of ignorant people that keep saying, oh, he's a murderer, this, that, and the third. But y'all are not looking into consideration that he was not himself. He was lost. He was gone, literally. He was honestly not himself. The amount of brain damage he had, and the CTE and his depression, and he was drinking, he was rage and all that played a huge part into why he did what he did. Am I defending what he's done? No. I absolutely feel like what he did was horrible, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And I feel bad for that young man, Daniel, and that young man, and his wife, Nancy. They didn't deserve that. I understand how depressed and fucked up he was, from losing Eddie and everything else that was going on. And then they were having issues in the marriage and all that. Like, it was a lot that was going on with him in the situation. But I still feel like he shouldn't have done that. He should have left them be. If he was going to kill himself, he should have killed himself, to be honest. Like, as shitty as that sounds, he shouldn't have dragged them with him, but you get to understand why what happened. Like, I really hate when people say Chris Benoit's a murderer. Like, you're not looking to the fact that he wasn't in his right mind when he murdered them, though. He really wasn't, literally. Like, even David, his oldest son, said that man who killed them and who did that wasn't the same as my dad. He wasn't. Because he would know how he was, because he had his dad in his life for a long time. He would know. The Chris Benoit that we all knew and loved wasn't the same Chris Benoit that killed his wife and his son and himself. Literally wasn't the same Chris Benoit. So for the ignorant people that want to keep saying he's a murderer, you can kindly fuck off. I'm not the type of person to get mad at people for their opinion, but it's but at the same time, certain opinions are very, very ignorant, though. When you sit here and say he's a murderer, you're not taking into consideration that he was not in his right mind when he did what he did, and he literally wasn't in his right mind, like, at all. And it's like you're acting like he murdered them with being fully aware of what was going on. Like, that's how y'all acting. Y'all acting like he murdered them or whatever, and like it was something normal for him to do. Like, no, like that. I ain't gonna go there, but yeah, I knew somebody was gonna talk about that, because now I'm starting to see some news reports or whatever about that, because I knew somebody was gonna bring that up. because that's what it reminded me of. And they went through that whole performance center and tore it down. Like, I love the match, and I love how at the end Edge was like crying because he was like, you know, like damn. He looked at Randy. He was like, damn, Randy, you're my brother, and I have to do this to you. And he fucked him up in the end. But great match, great storytelling. Can't wait to see what's in store next for them. I did get a chance to watch Raw though, so there's that. Raw was really good, and I'm really intrigued to what's gonna happen next week. I'm intrigued to know what's gonna happen for NXT, because I know NXT comes on today. I know NXT comes on today as well, so pretty excited about that. I'm intrigued about that as well. What else? But yeah, shout out to Edge and shout out to Randy Orton, because they tore the house down, and it was awesome. It was really awesome. The next match was the Street Profits against which are Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory with Zelina Vega. And it was what could be expected. Great. Both teams have phenomenal athletes. Literally, like, both teams had great athletes, and they tore the house down. Also, I knew that the Street Profits were going to retain because they're pushing the Street Profits right now, and I feel like they're doing a great job because I want the smoke. I want all the smoke. I started using that every day, to be honest, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I really like the Street Profits. I love the characters. Yes, they're a low-key Crime Time 2.0, and everybody knows that, but that's okay. Because Crime Time, in my opinion, didn't get their fair justice as a tag team. And when they should have got their fair justice as a tag team, if you ask me. But you know, that's neither here nor there. But they won, which I already knew. And I knew Zelina was going to slap Montez Ford again, start something with him again, you know. And, you know, that I knew Bianca Belair was going to come out and give her the smoke, and that's what happened. That's low-key what happened. And then after that, and I feel like now Bianca and Zelina have beef now, and they're about to be in a feud stemming from her putting her hands on her husband. So she has a right to step in, and she has a right to go off on her and tell her what it is. Because if it was me, let Ann bitch touch my nigga, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be an issue, to be honest. Because I don't play that. I don't go around assaulting nobody's boyfriends, husbands, or whoever. I don't do that. So I feel like it's a certain level of respect you're supposed to show someone. And again, I know it's scripted, but still, they would have had me messed up. I would have, because you couldn't pay me no amount of money to disrespect somebody's husband and expect that person to take it lightly. Like, no, it ain't gonna happen. Realistically, it's not gonna happen. It ain't finna be a good situation. But they do that. But you know, WWE can be very shady. If you ask me, they can be shady as hell. And then after that was the gauntlet match. The fatal 5-way elimination match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I kind of figured Bayley was going to retain, to be honest. I mean, I didn't want her to retain because she's fucking god awful. Like, her gimmick is garbage. Her old gimmick was garbage. She's a great athlete, though. She can wrestle. I can't sit here and deny that, but her gimmicks are garbage. And I'm over her reign. Her reign is BS. And somebody needs to dethrone her. Because I'm tired of her with her attitude problem that she got. I'm really sick and tired of her. I'm over her, and she just isn't my cup of tea at this moment in time. I thought, honestly, if it wasn't gonna be Tamina that was gonna win the title, I thought either Naomi or Lacey Evans was gonna win the title. And even though Sasha Banks helped her return her championship, I feel like Sasha Banks in a way is salty as hell. I feel like in a way Sasha Banks is salty as hell that she didn't win. Like, she's feeling some type of way, and I feel like eventually they're gonna be feuding again, because y'all remember that old tired storyline before. Her and Sasha were best friends, and then they kept arguing and fighting, and then they became friends again, then they were fighting again, and all this blah blah. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. As annoying as it's gonna be, like, who's got time to hear that? I can't stand when people argue and bitch and complain about such small minuscule things. Like, ugh, I can't. But yeah, that was actually a really good match. I mean, if you ask me, it was way better than Becky Lynch's title defense, because that title defense was garbage and terrible booking. And then the match after that was the Firefly Funhouse match. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I thought I was so intrigued by it, but I was confused at the same time. But it was trippy as hell. Like, this is the first time WWE has done something like this where I was just confused what was going on. But I thought it was great, and I felt great storytelling. It was more psychological than anything else, and I feel like Bray Wyatt finally got his justice. And I like how throughout the entire match that they were changing, like, basically like changing gimmicks and going back to like their old gimmicks and the old like situations and stuff, and playing out different roles and stuff like that. And I liked that. I liked how they were trying to even each other out or whatever. And I feel like with this, it was perfect for Bray to beat him because he fulfilled what he was trying to do the first time, and that's by beating John Cena. And he finally got what he wanted, and that was by beating John Cena. And I definitely felt like he deserved that win, 100%. And it's not because I don't like Cena that I feel that way. I just feel like he deserved that win. And I'm gonna say this to a lot of people: Cena can't win everything. Doesn't mean I wish him to lose all the time either. Just because I don't like him doesn't mean I think that way. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. I can't wait to see what's next in store. I hope that was John Cena's last match, to be honest, because he's getting older now, and he's gonna want to at some point, you know, do something else other than wrestling. Don't get me wrong, I love to see these people that we idolize and we care a lot about and support them a lot, you know, win and be successful and stuff like that and wrestle forever. But realistically, we have to accept that they won't be wrestling forever, because, you know, they're getting older now and they want to do things with their life that has nothing to do with wrestling, you know. And I don't want them to waste their life wrestling forever being unhappy, you know, when they could be doing other things. They should be able to do other things. That's their right, as them being people, them being human beings, you know. So that's why I said I feel like that should have been John Cena's last match, and he should just retire after that, call it a day, you know. He can't win everything. He's done everything that he needs to possibly do, in my opinion, and that should be enough. He's had quite a long career, and I feel like there's nothing else he can possibly accomplish in WWE, if you ask me. And I don't even like John Cena, and I can acknowledge that. That's what makes me different from everybody else. I acknowledge that. I acknowledge what all he's done for the business and for all of that. There we go. I had to hook up my charger to my laptop. But I acknowledge John Cena for everything he's done, regardless if I like him or not. I don't like him, but I respect for what he's done for the business and so forth. That's one thing about it. I do respect that, and I feel like I feel it's awesome that he came back for just one last WrestleMania match. I'm assuming he's retired after this, because I mean, it wouldn't make sense for him to try to make a comeback when he's already done. He's already done enough. You know, there's nothing more he could possibly do. Again, my opinion, my thoughts, but I feel like that's a fact that I just said, though. Like, there should be nothing else he should want to do in the WWE when he's done everything, literally, you know? But much respect to him and Bray. Shout out to them. Moving on. Oh, now, the last and final match that happened on the pay-per-view was Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar for the I was about to say Universal Championship, I can't, for the WWE Championship. Let me just tell you, I'm gonna be honest and straightforward with this. I honestly thought that WWE was gonna screw us over and make Drew lose, because they're known for screwing people over. Like, for example, Damian Sandow, when he won Money in the Bank, they had him cash in on Cena and he lost. I was so pissed off about that. I felt like that was BS. Like, how you gonna have that man win just to lose? Like, what? And he should have been champion also. Just putting that out there. Like, that's one of the situations where they've screwed us over. And they screwed us over multiple times by having Brock win the championship over and over and over again. And he would come back just to be granted championship opportunities and just to win without having to fight for it. And it's so annoying, and I'm so over that. And I'm over his title reigns. Respect Brock for what he's done in and out of the ring, and I feel he's in good shape and everything, and it's good to see him. But at the same time, I'm tired of his reigns. I'm tired of him always having title shots opportunities. I'm tired of him always wearing the title. I'm sick and tired of it. He goes away just to come back, just to get another opportunity over and over and over and over again. And I'm sick and tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. I'm mentally drained from seeing it. It gets more and more annoying, more and more frustrating. And at this point, I hope and pray he doesn't get another opportunity. And I hope and pray Drew doesn't have to drop the title to him. Like, what type of bullshit would that be? I would be so pissed off. I would make a video ranting and going off on the WWE. And I would tweet Vince McMahon and tell him about himself. And I don't normally do stuff like that, but that is going to be complete bullshit if that does happen. We're not blind. We see what Brock is capable of, and we give him respect for that. We even for the people that can't stand him, even for the people that love him, they give him that same respect. But it's the fact of the matter that nobody wants to keep seeing the same person win all the time, winning the championship all the time. It's gonna annoy them. It's gonna piss them off. Because meanwhile, we have all these people who bust their ass all year long just to get nothing. But meanwhile, we see people like Brock Lesnar coming back, getting a championship opportunity, and winning and holding the title for a long time just to lose, just to get it back again. That is frustrating and that is annoying. And we shouldn't have to put up with that. We shouldn't have to deal with that. But we watch and we tune in because we love wrestling. And we love being fans of wrestling. But it gets frustrating. It gets so fucking annoying to see him constantly be the champion. Change up what you got going on. Nobody wants to keep seeing the same shit happening over and over and over and over and over again. I'm over that. So that's why I said I'm so glad he allowed Drew to have his moment. And I'm glad he believed in Drew enough for him to allow him to drop the title to him. Thank you, God. Because Drew has busted his ass. He has had a long career. And he's been through so many things. And what I love when I watch this documentary, I love when he said that, you know, he had some setbacks and then that it was his fault. He took accountability for everything wrong that he's done. And not many people can honestly do that. Not many people have the galls to be like, okay, you know, I was in the wrong. I was wrong. You know, not many people can do that. Not many people have the galls to do that. You know, but for him to be someone of his caliber, to admit what he's done wrong, shows me who he is as a human being. And I love human beings like that take accountability for the things that they do wrong and how they're gonna improve, and they have. And he's improved vastly since he came to the WWE originally in 2009. They always said he's the future and all that, and he is. To 2020, he is your WWE champion, and that has to feel amazing for him because he's worked so hard to get back. He looks better. He looks stronger. He's faster. He's more athletic. He's more powerful. Like, and the list goes on. I'm so happy for him. So glad we ended Brock's tired, dry-ass reign. So glad that we don't have to see Paul Heyman and him hyping him up like he's some sort of god or whatever. And don't get me wrong, I love Paul Heyman. He's no doubt the best manager of all time, in my opinion. Literally, like, he's the best manager of all time. Period. I love him. Love him so much. But, like I said, so glad we don't have to see that. But I do wonder how they're going to spin this. I wonder if Boo and Jock are going to have a feud for a while or what. But, Lord, I'm praying and hoping that they don't come back with no bullshit. Like, Drew's the champion for a while, and then Brock comes back demanding a championship opportunity, and then Drew has to drop the title to him. I would be so pissed off, and I would be going off on them people. Okay, they don't want no smoke with me. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now what would happen, because I'm not with the bullshit. I'm not. I ain't with it. I'm not with the bullshit. But yeah, so that was WrestleMania Part 2, and literally WrestleMania Part 2, a much better show than Part 1. Like I said, Part 1 was good, but this was amazing from start to finish. Like, and I'll tell you why. My number one match of the night for Part 2 was Edge versus Randy Orton, because it had literally everything. It was literally the best match of the night. Definitely. It had great storytelling. It had it all, literally. Like, when you thought that Edge was gonna lose, he came up out of nowhere and started beating the shit out of Randy. And when you thought Randy was gonna lose, he came out of nowhere. And I wonder what he did with the cameraman, because when the match was about to begin, Edge and his music and Randy's music was playing. I was just trying to figure out what the hell, like, what did he do to the cameraman? Because I know it panned to him in the back, him pretending to be a cameraman and slithering in, and he gave Edge an RKO or whatever. I'm just curious what he did with the other cameraman, though. I hope those answers get answered. I mean, I hope those questions get answered, because I'm trying to figure out what he did to that cameraman, though. The original cameraman. Or did he just give it back to him when he was finished? See, I don't know. I really don't know. But that's why that's my first favorite match of the night. My second favorite match of the night was the Street Profits match. The Street Profits match with Angel Garza and Austin Theory, because with so much athleticism back and forward, so many great moves that was in there. And Montez Ford will no doubt go down as one of the best athletic wrestlers ever, because I've seen what this man can do with his body and all that, and I'm just like, this man is amazing, and he doesn't even realize how good he is. He's so athletic, so agile, so fast, you know, and so just incredible. This man has great mic skills, great ring presence, all that combined in one. And and I'm loving that they're kind of like pushing Angel Garza also, because he is doing his thing. When he was in NXT, he was doing his thing also. So let's not sleep on that man. That man has it all you can possibly think of. And what I love about Angelo Dawkins is he's a powerhouse. But if he wants to fly high, he has no problem doing so either. And I love that about him. I love how he's himself. But yeah, he does remind me of Shad a lot. Because Shad used to do a lot of power moves too, and he was a heavyweight as well. And Austin Theory is a new up and coming wrestler, and he does his thing. They tore the house down when it was him versus Tommaso Ciampa, when Tommaso Ciampa went crazy. But he held his own though against Tommaso Ciampa, you know, before Tommaso Ciampa fucked him up even more, you know. But yeah, what was, and which, I gotta say the third one. No. So this is what I meant to say. Okay, Edge and Randy Orton was rank 1. Rank 2 was Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, and then rank 3 would be the Street Profits. I got the numbers all mixed up. And then the last one would be Bayley versus Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina. Amazing match, but yeah, still amazing match. It was just my least favorite one out of all three of the other ones. My least favorite match, but a good match nonetheless though. Really good match. I feel so proud for everybody that's participated in WrestleMania, from the writers, from the producers, from all the wrestlers, everybody that could show up. I shout out to all y'all for part 1 and part 2. This WrestleMania was a success under the most shitty of conditions. I will always support WWE, and I will always encourage them to do better, and encourage them to try their hardest, to try their best, which they have done. But they have trolled us a lot before too, so you know, there's that. But good job, well done, and I definitely happily will restart and rewatch WrestleMania, because I've already rewatched it like 3 times already, and I will definitely rewatch it again. Like, I love this WrestleMania from beginning to end. Like I said, part 1, certain finishes, certain durations of matches made me feel some way, but overall it was a great show. But part 2 was even better. So if you compare WrestleMania part 1 to part 2, which part was your favorite? Which matches did you enjoy? Which matches did you not enjoy? Who were you excited to see, and who were you not excited to see? Like, comment, and subscribe. Put all your different opinions and everything down in the comments, and we can talk about it, we can discuss it. Y'all know me, I love to engage with you guys. I love to hear you guys' difference of opinions. Even if they're different from mine, it's okay. I just am so excited. So prepared for the next pay-per-view. And I think the next pay-per-view is Money in the Bank, if I'm not mistaken. I most definitely will. I promise you guys, I will make a Money in the Bank review. And I will begin making more wrestling reviews. I uploaded one of my gameplays yesterday, and I got some good, like, I got some good reviews, and I got some good reactions and stuff to it, so I'm definitely gonna be putting more gaming videos out as well. So I'm gonna be working on that also, and then uploading more videos, you know, for you guys. But I'm gonna make sure not to burn myself out mentally, because, you know, it's not good to make videos and you're just not in the right space, because you're gonna burn yourself out. And I definitely am not trying to do that. But thank y'all so much. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for your support, for y'all encouraging me, for y'all liking, commenting, and subscribing. Even if you have a difference of opinion, like, I love that so much about you guys. I want you guys to keep being transparent, keep being your beautiful selves. You know, stay healthy, stay safe, stay in the house. And if you do go outside of the house, wear a mask, wear gloves, keep your hands sanitized, keep your hands clean. Make sure you're in a good point of view, a good place, being safe. Don't be out here reckless when we got this virus out here. This virus is killing people. This virus is really bad, and I definitely wouldn't want to deal with it myself, to be honest. 'Cause even though a lot of people are surviving and coping with it, there's also people who are dying and who are not physically able to deal with what they're dealing with right now. So just do what you guys have to do, but be safe and be smart. Anyways, that was my WrestleMania Part 2, Day 2 review. I love you guys so much. I'm gonna probably go and watch a movie or a TV show or something or whatever. And I'll see you guys the next time. Peace.